Script title: Over 60? Eat these 7 foods daily to fight aging, boost energy, and live longer. Script: By the time you hit 60, your body's ability to absorb B12 and process protein drops by nearly 40%. That is a massive number when you really stop to think about it. It means you could be eating what you think is a perfect, healthy diet and still be starving your muscles and your brain of the very things they need to keep you moving. You're eating, but your cells simply aren't getting the message. Today, we're looking at the 7 specific foods that don't just fill your stomach. These foods actually repair your DNA and clear out what scientists call zombie cells. Stick around for food number 1, because it's a common kitchen staple that most people prepare totally wrong. If you do it the old way, you're accidentally killing the one enzyme that prevents age-related memory loss. If you miss these little tweaks, you're essentially leaving your longevity to chance while your internal battery continues to drain. Welcome back to 30-Day Health. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button right now because what you're about to hear is going to change the way you look at your kitchen forever. We're all about giving you the tools to stay sharp and strong, and you don't want to miss the deep dives we have coming up. We want to make sure you have every advantage as you navigate these years, and staying informed is the first step toward a healthier, longer life. Let's start with something most people walk right past in the grocery store. We're talking about sardines and fatty fish. I call this joint grease, and for good reason. When you turn 60, you start hearing a lot about a word called sarcopenia. It sounds scary, but it's just the medical term for muscle wasting. It is a natural part of getting older, but it doesn't have to be your destiny. After age 30, you start losing 3 to 8% of your muscle mass every single decade. By the time you're 60, that rate speeds up significantly. Sardines are a secret weapon against this. They are packed with high-dose omega-3s and something called DMAE. Now, DMAE is incredible for your skin and brain, but let's talk about those joints. You know that stiffness you feel when you first get out of bed? That Tin Man feeling in your knees and hips that makes those first few steps to the bathroom feel like a chore? That is often just inflammation and a lack of lubrication in the joint tissue. The oil in these fish is like liquid gold for those spots. It's not just about the fish meat itself, it's about that high-quality fat that keeps your cellular membranes flexible. If your cells are stiff, you feel stiff. It is as simple as that. When you incorporate these healthy fats, you are essentially oiling the hinges of your body. Here's a surprising detail for you. A tiny tin of sardines actually contains more calcium and vitamin D than a full glass of milk. For someone over 60, bone density is everything. One bad fall can change your life in an instant, so you need that internal armor that calcium provides. And unlike a big tuna or a salmon, sardines are at the bottom of the food chain. They don't live long enough to soak up all the mercury and toxins that bigger fish do. They are clean, powerful, and cheap. I know the smell can be a bit much for some people, and the idea of eating fish out of a can might be a turnoff at first. But if you mash them up with some lemon juice and avocado, you won't even notice. You're giving your body the raw materials to rebuild muscle and keep your bones from turning into glass. But wait until you see how food number 4 affects your skin. It's not what you think. If you hate fish, don't worry. This next food handles your heart and your head using a completely different, much sweeter mechanism. We're talking about blueberries, specifically wild blueberries if you can find them. These aren't just fruit. They are neuroprotective agents. Think of them as a vacuum cleaner for the plaque in your arteries. As we age, our brain cells start to have trouble talking to each other. It's like a bad cell phone connection where the words are getting dropped or the signal is fuzzy. The anthocyanins in blueberries, that's the stuff that makes them blue, actually improve the signaling between those brain cells. Wild blueberries are the real stars here. They have 2 times the antioxidant capacity of the regular, jumbo ones you see in the clear plastic bins. Those antioxidants are like a biological shield. They go in and neutralize free radicals that are trying to rust your insides. There is a famous study where older adults drank blueberry juice for 12 weeks, and their memory scores went up significantly. Their brains literally worked faster. It's about keeping the wiring in your head clean so the messages can travel at full speed. Think about your vascular system like the plumbing in an old house. Over decades, gunk builds up on the inside of the pipes. Blueberries help keep the walls of those pipes, your arteries, smooth and flexible. This lowers your blood pressure and makes it easier for your heart to do its job without straining. It's a simple swap. Put them in your morning oats, mix them into some yogurt, or just eat a handful as a snack while you're watching TV. You're protecting your heart and your memory at the same time. If you're finding this helpful so far, hit that like button. It really helps us keep the lights on so we can keep bringing you this life-saving research. We're all in this together, and your support means the world to us. It helps us reach more people who need this information to stay healthy. Blueberries handle the brain, but this next food handles the engine room of your entire immune system. We are moving on to the powerhouse, cruciferous sprouts, especially broccoli sprouts. These are the zombie cell killers. Inside these tiny sprouts is a compound called sulforaphane. This is arguably the most powerful natural trigger for the NRF2 pathway. Now, don't let the science name bore you or scare you off. The NRF2 pathway is your body's strongest defense against oxidative stress. It's like the master switch for your internal pharmacy, telling your body to start producing its own antioxidants. Here is the part that genuinely shocked me when I first read the research. You have to activate the medicine in broccoli. If you just throw it in a steamer and cook it until it's mushy and gray, you've killed the magic. There is an enzyme called myrosinase that has to mix with a compound called glucoraphanin to create sulforaphane. To make this happen, you have to chop the broccoli or the sprouts and then let them sit on the cutting board for 40 minutes before you cook them. This wait time allows the chemical reaction to happen. It's like letting a tea bag steep to get the flavor out. Or if you're in a hurry, you can add a little bit of mustard seed powder to your cooked broccoli. Mustard seeds contain that same enzyme and will reactivate the health benefits instantly. Why do we care about zombie cells? As we age, some of our cells stop dividing, but they don't die off like they should. They just sit there, like zombies, breathing out inflammatory chemicals that damage the healthy cells around them. This is a huge cause of systemic inflammation, the kind that makes your back ache, your knees throb, and your energy levels tank. Sulforaphane hunts these cells down. It's like a search and destroy mission for your longevity. Broccoli sprouts have up to 100 times more of this compound than a full-grown head of broccoli. You only need a tiny bit to get a massive dose of protection. The next item is actually a biohack used by top longevity scientists, and it's something you've probably been eating your whole life, just maybe not the right way. We've killed the zombie cells. Now let's talk about the one food that acts like a natural internal sunscreen for your skin and eyes. We're talking about spinach and leafy greens. Specifically, we're looking for two nutrients, lutein and zeaxanthin. These are carotenoids that actually migrate to your eyes and stay there. They accumulate in the retina to form a protective layer that filters out harmful blue light from screens and the sun. Most people over 60 worry about macular degeneration. It's one of the leading causes of vision loss and can be very frightening. Eating a large portion of cooked spinach a few times a week is like wearing a pair of high-quality sunglasses inside your own head. And here's a surprising detail. Cooking spinach actually makes the nutrients more available for your body to use than eating it raw. I know the raw food craze is big, but the heat breaks down the tough cell walls of the spinach, releasing all that lutein so your body can actually grab it and put it to work. It's not just about strength, even though Popeye had the right idea. It's about keeping your vision sharp enough to drive at night and stay independent. When you can see clearly, you move more confidently. And when you move more confidently, you're less likely to have a fall. It's all connected. If you've been feeling a little sluggish in the afternoons or noticing that your vision isn't quite as crisp as it used to be, pay extra attention to this next one. Most people think this next food is bad for your cholesterol, but new science says it's the ultimate brain fuel and the closest thing to a fountain of youth in a bottle. We are talking about extra virgin olive oil. This is the liquid gold of the Mediterranean. It is high in a very specific compound called oleocanthal. This molecule is incredible because it mimics the effect of ibuprofen. It's a natural anti-inflammatory that works on the same pathways as the over-the-counter pills, but without the risk of damaging your stomach lining or your kidneys. For someone over 60, chronic inflammation is the enemy. It's what drives heart disease, Alzheimer's, and arthritis. But you have to be careful. Not all olive oil is created equal. Most of the stuff you see on the shelf in big plastic jugs is dead oil. It's been processed with heat and chemicals, which destroys the oleocanthal. You need cold-pressed extra virgin olive oil, preferably in a dark glass bottle to protect it from light. You can tell if it's the real deal by the taste. Real, high-quality olive oil should have a peppery kick in the back of your throat when you swallow it. That sting is actually the oleocanthal hitting your receptors. If it tastes like plain vegetable oil, it's not doing the job. This oil is also a massive win for your skin. The healthy fats help maintain the lipid barrier, which keeps moisture in and toxins out. It's why people in the blue zones, places like Sardinia and Greece where people regularly live to be over 100, look so vibrant and healthy. They don't just cook with it, they practically drench their food in it. It keeps their arteries flexible and their skin glowing. We're halfway through. If you've got a friend who needs to hear this, share this video with them. Let's all get younger together. Subscribe if you haven't yet, because we're about to get into the gut-brain connection, and this is where everything changes. Understanding how your stomach affects your mind is a total game changer. Before we hit the #1 food, we have to talk about a snack that actually repairs your gut lining. We're talking about fermented foods, specifically kefir. You've probably heard that 70% of your immune system is in your gut. But here's what they don't tell you. After you hit 60, your microbiome diversity starts to crash. The good bugs in your stomach start to die off, and the bad bugs take over. This leads to leaky gut, where toxins from your food leak into your bloodstream and cause your immune system to go haywire. It's like having a security fence with giant holes in it. Kefir is the gut architect. Most people think yogurt is enough, but yogurt usually only has 2 or 3 strains of bacteria. Kefir often has over 30 different strains of powerful probiotics. It's like sending a specialized construction crew to fix the leaks in your digestive tract. It's much more aggressive than yogurt at colonizing the gut and pushing out the bad bacteria. Even if you're lactose intolerant, you can usually handle kefir because the fermentation process breaks down the lactose for you. A healthy gut means a healthy brain. There is a massive nerve called the vagus nerve that runs from your gut to your head. It is a two-way street for communication. If your gut is inflamed, your brain gets the signal to be depressed, tired, and foggy. By drinking a little bit of kefir every day, you're essentially sending a calm down signal to your entire nervous system. It's a foundation for everything else we've talked about. If your gut can't absorb the nutrients from the sardines or the blueberries, they're just going to waste. You have to fix the engine first if you want the car to run smoothly. And finally, we've reached the gold medal. The #1 food. This is the DNA repairman. You probably have it in your pantry right now, but I can almost guarantee you're using it all wrong. We are talking about turmeric, but specifically, turmeric combined with black pepper. Turmeric contains curcumin. This is one of the most studied anti-aging compounds on the planet. It is a literal off switch for a molecule called NF-κB. This molecule is the master commander of inflammation in your body. When NF-κB is turned on, your body is in a state of constant high alert, which ages your cells at an accelerated rate. It's like running your car's engine at the red line even when you're just sitting in the driveway. Curcumin walks in and flips that switch to off, allowing your body to finally rest and repair. But there is a huge catch. Curcumin is very poorly absorbed by the human body. If you just eat turmeric by itself, your body processes it and gets rid of it before it ever hits your bloodstream. You're basically just making your bathroom trips more expensive without getting the health benefits. However, there is a secret hack. Black pepper contains a compound called piperine. When you combine just a tiny bit of black pepper with turmeric, the absorption of curcumin increases by 2,000%. That is not a typo. 2,000%. This combination is the ultimate longevity hack used by the world's longest living populations in the blue zones, particularly in Okinawa. They don't just use it as a spice. They treat it like medicine. It helps repair the ends of your chromosomes, called telomeres. Think of telomeres like the plastic tips on the ends of shoelaces. As we age, those tips fray and shorten. When they're gone, the cell can no longer divide and it dies. Turmeric helps keep those tips intact for longer, protecting your genetic code. But remember, timing and pairing are everything. You need that black pepper, and you also need a little bit of fat, like that olive oil we talked about, because curcumin is fat soluble. It needs fat to travel through your system. If you take it on an empty stomach with no pepper and no fat, you're getting zero benefit. But if you mix it into a soup with some olive oil and a heavy crack of black pepper, you are literally giving your DNA a shield against the passage of time. So, how do we put all 7 of these onto one plate? It sounds like a lot to manage, but it's actually quite simple once you get the hang of it. Imagine a big bowl of leafy spinach, lightly sautéed in that peppery extra virgin olive oil, and topped with some turmeric and black pepper. Throw some sardines on top for protein and healthy fats, and maybe have a small glass of kefir or a handful of blueberries on the side. That's not just a meal. That's a biological reset for your entire system. The secret to making these work isn't the quantity. It's the consistency. You don't need to eat a bucket of blueberries once a month. You need a small handful every single day. Your body doesn't store these nutrients for long. It needs a steady supply of these repair instructions to keep the system running. Think of it like brushing your teeth. You don't do it once for 5 hours and call it good for the year. You do it for 2 minutes every morning and night. Aging isn't a setting you can't change. It's not a mountain you're forced to climb until you run out of breath. It is a biological process. And like any process, it can be influenced by the inputs you provide. Every time you pick up a fork, you are making a choice. You are either feeding the inflammation or you are fighting it. You've spent the last 60 years taking care of everyone else, your kids, your career, your house, your friends. It's finally time to use these 7 tools to take care of the one person who's been with you through every single second of it. Yourself. I know it's hard to change habits when you've been doing things a certain way for decades. We've all been there, staring at the fridge, wondering if it's even worth the effort to cook something healthy when a piece of toast is easier. But look at it this way. Your 80-year-old self is already looking back at you right now, thanking you for making these changes today. They are thanking you for the extra mobility, the clear eyes, and the sharp memory that allows you to enjoy your retirement and your family. They are thanking you for the independence that these foods help preserve. Start with just one of these tomorrow morning. Don't try to overhaul your entire life in one day. Maybe it's the blueberries in your cereal. Or maybe it's finally trying that kefir. Just one thing. Once that becomes a habit and you don't even have to think about it anymore, add the next one. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be better than you were yesterday. Longevity isn't about living forever. It's about making sure the years you do have are full of life, energy, and joy. You have the map now. All you have to do is take the first step. Your body is incredibly resilient. It's just waiting for you to give it the right fuel. So, what's the bottom line? Your kitchen is your most powerful pharmacy. Use it well,